Would you say that this is your biggest risk in music yet?
Yes, undeniably.
What makes it your biggest risk yet?
New York Times and Rolling Stone magazine called our next guest the biggest breakout artist of the year.
Your first song you ever released is Certified Diamond.
50 billion streams, too many platinum records to count, Grammy nominations.
Sold out arena tours.
I'm not going to turn down Khalid, of course.
What happened on that hot R&B song chart?
I got number 1 through 5.
No big deal.
Is it true you almost didn't record Location? Is that right?
I actually wrote my first song 10 years ago this month.
Wow.
I knew the moment that I met Billie, I was like, wow, she is a superstar.
I don't think I've talked to an artist at this point who has been as successful as a collaborator.
I could have done so much better.
What?
See, it's so crazy. I mean, we're
The
our
song's
own
so
biggest.
deep.
They told me that I would age myself out of Young, Dumb, and Broke. Hopping on a stage and they're just like, sing, dance, perform, and I'm just like, ah. I don't think that American Teen is me at my best. How can that possibly be me at my best when I've gone through so many experiences, so many ups, so many downs?
How did you find your confidence, and then how did you build your confidence as an artist?
Melodies have saved my life. They've helped me deal with grief.
How and why do you keep going?
Ooh.
Super excited today because we have one of the most important artists of my generation. Went from uploading songs on SoundCloud as a teenager to becoming one of the most recognizable voices in music with over 50 billion streams, too many platinum records to count, Grammy nominations, and even being named one of Time's most influential people. But what I love most about your story is beyond all the numbers, it's your honesty, your storytelling, and your ability to connect that sets you apart.
Thank you.
Your songs have connected with people's lives, my life. And now this new chapter I'm beyond excited to talk about. But we also have to go back to the beginning because to really fully understand Khalid, you have to understand your story.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is I'm very honored right now because I hear you what I do to go I go behind the wall. I try to listen to as many interviews as possible. And so I went all the way back to 8 years ago when you were doing a bunch of them with the radio, with Zane Lowe, with all these different people. And then you did a couple year later, and then there was like a period of time when there was nothing.
Yeah.
No type of interviews. And then the last like 2 years or so, you've done a little bit more. But I'm very honored to be one of the people that you wanted to chat with.
Thank you, man. Yeah, thank you for having me. I've been really looking for an opportunity to speak more and put myself out there. I feel like it's so easy to find comfort in my reclusiveness. But yeah, I'm really happy to be here, happy to talk with you, and I think it's awesome.
The first question I always like to ask is, for anyone who doesn't know who you are, what are some of the songs they know you from?
Should I look at any of the cameras and say this, or should I just say it to you?
This camera's directly on you.
Cool. Hi, what's up? My name is Khalid, and if you aren't familiar with my name, you might be familiar with my breakout single, Location. Shout out to that. Or one of my other hits, Better. And you might even know me from a couple of collaborations, such as Love Lies with Normani and Lovely with Billie Eilish.
Yeah, but it's also crazy because like you have so many songs that people would know. Like so like outside of that, like that just touches like the very top of the surface. And then also not just like songs from your album, but also like songs that you've done collaborations on. I wrote them down. Silence with Marshmello. You said Love Lies with Normani. Eastside Benny Blanco, Halsey. 1-800 Logic Alicia Cara. You, Shawn Mendes. Beautiful People, Ed Sheeran. There's so many. I don't think I've talked to an artist at this point who has been as successful as a collaborator ever.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
And that is something that I want to get into. But I feel like there's also this like vibe when it comes to the music industry that everyone thinks things happen overnight because you don't start paying attention to someone until they start having success, but you don't get to see everything that happens before that. So what I find to be interesting about your stories is the next question I always ask is how many songs did you write until you had your first hit?
Okay, honest answer. I'm doing the timeline. I actually wrote my first song 10 years ago this month, September.
Wow.
September 2015. Yeah, actually. And I'd say I'd count it technically as my second song until my music started trending on SoundCloud underneath the MD tabs, Saved. So Saved was my second authentic, real shot. And that's what catapulted me into the whole SoundCloud era, SoundCloud wave, indie bedroom pop vibe. But I want to say Location was maybe the fifth or sixth song I wrote ever.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty quick, honestly.
What I find interesting is like it sounds like Saved was kind of an accident, not an accident, but like not like a song that was put out on SoundCloud. It was a voice memo, right?
Yeah.
So you like someone was just playing guitar and then you sang over it and you recorded it and you decided to put that on SoundCloud?
Yeah. I had a friend at the time who had a guitar and a microphone, and we were in his bedroom. I think his family was in the kitchen. And we sang it a couple of times. We said it was going to be one take. I think that was to make it sound cool and appealing. I'm like, oh, we're just going to just act like we did it in one take. But oh my God, we probably did maybe like 20 takes. I mean, I'm like a perfectionist. But the one take that I picked, I just felt in my soul, it just captured every emotion in the way that I felt was just bigger than me at that point. And I knew immediately that that song would connect, but I think I was oblivious to the trajectory that that song would start for myself. I can just remember holding on to the song and FaceTiming my friend, washing the dishes. I hated doing the dishes as a kid. And
Do
so
you like it now?
Oh, I don't like doing the
Okay,
dishes
yeah,
at
yeah,
all, but I have really hated doing them as a kid. And I can remember in between washing the dishes, I had the audio on my downloads on my phone, and I asked my friend, I'm like, what do you think my name should be? I went over a different alias by the name of Kai with like an exclamation point. Let me get it out. And I can literally visualize the bubble just going doo 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 to like 25%, like 50, 70, uploaded. And then I looked at my friend on FaceTime. I'm like, well, I did it, and I guess we'll see what comes from this. So for a song like Save to be the catalyst of an empire of music, it wouldn't have happened if there wasn't that little voice memo with the guitar, my voice. That was it.
Yeah, I saw it on SoundCloud. I saw it as Saved Rough Draft. By the way, amazing song.
Thank you.
Crazy that did you write out the lyrics? Did it come off the top? Like that's crazy to me that that's like the first song you wrote from that's insane.
I wrote the lyrics in my bathroom, actually. My parents' bathroom upstairs. I can remember the pocket
Is that because of
in
the
the
reverb
house.
in it?
The reverb,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. That was exactly why. The reverb, it's also comfortable when, you just, I think some of my best ideas, my best free-flowing ideas are when I'm in my own space of privacy, and there's something so therapeutic about all of the water and just finding melodies from droplets that just like pop in your head, and you're like, wow. And I can remember just singing this melody as I did before. When I was a child, my melodies were aimless. They didn't have a home to go to. But I knew that my intention for Saved was I want to write a song, I want to finish it, and I want it to be a really, really, really good one. I didn't have too much knowledge of songwriting at that point. My mom sang and wrote songs, and so maybe that is just in my blood. But I do remember one of my favorite songs to sing at that point in my life was Stay With Me by Sam Smith. And I
course.
really liked the emotion that it captured. I liked what they invoked melodically. And instead of recreating something, I'm like, how do I create a song this profound, this spiritual, this moving, but my own version. And being 17 at the time, the furthest that my thoughts really went to was, I'm gonna keep your number saved in my phone, and this digitally influenced, social media charged era, but it was authentic and it was me. I don't think I knew how many other teenagers, even young adults, I mean beyond, would relate to the lyrics of that song when I wrote it in my bathroom. So weird. Now I sing that song in front of thousands of people, and every time it's like I'm right there for this glimpse. It's this 1 second where like 17-year-old K is just like, this is the dream that I wanted.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
You said so much right there, including talking about your mom. It seems like your mom is a huge part of your story. What did sound like she wanted, based on looking and looking more into your story, it sounds like she wanted to be in music,
Mm-hmm.
and she is one of your biggest inspirations in music, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I say this all the time, but my mom's voice is something so serene and beautiful and powerful. I think a lot of the time when people talk about my tone, they speak about it being unique, but I wouldn't say that it's solely unique, because I feel like I am like a man version of my mother's voice, which is so funny. Hearing my mom sing throughout the house and not being able to differentiate whether it's on the radio or whether she's just in the kitchen just singing and humming. But yeah, I really resonate with my mom's voice, and it's something that I'm glad to carry. Even on my newest project, I put my mom on the last song, Hurt People. Yeah,
See,
my
okay.
mom is in the background,
I love
really
that.
tucked, and you can't even tell because we sound like the same person. It just sounds like they just pitched her voice up above mine. But yeah,
I was listening to the Saved documentary, and you talked about how you were in the car and you would drive with your mom, and you'd always sing like under her because she was so great that you'd be afraid to sing. But so that
yeah,
kind of like throws back to those car rides, maybe.
really a full circle moment. I think before I found my confidence, I was a very quiet and a very shy kid, so much as to the point I didn't want to even admit to my mom that I was an aspiring artist. I mean, I didn't know what it was. I feel like I wouldn't have even called it aspiring artist. I think I was just an artist. Whether or not it was successful at that point, I think that that's just who I was. But it was a very private experience that I shared with myself. It's helped me through a lot. Melodies have saved my life. They've helped me deal with grief. They've helped me deal with loss of love. They've helped me deal with falling in and out of love. And so it's just like sacred to me. And I think when I found confidence and I've realized what my purpose is and really like gain that sight on the love that I have, it makes it so much easier to share.
Yeah.
I don't think that I would have ever been comfortable enough to be on a song with my mom. Like I'm telling you, her voice is so powerful. If I didn't find my confidence, and I've found my confidence through life experiences, as we all do. But I'm happy that it's a full circle moment. We get to this point where, I mean, it's the first time that I've heard myself on a song sing with my mother. So I think it's really awesome.
You said right there that before you found your confidence, one, how did you find your confidence? And then how did you build your confidence as an artist?
Oh, finding my confidence started with, I mean, it always starts with a hater, of course. Am I going to believe that what they are saying is the truth? Or am I going to find my own opinion of myself, my own voice? I think if there wasn't that one hater, 2, 3, however the amount was, that said that they hated this SoundCloud, deep cut SoundCloud freestyle I did called Would You? I think if they didn't say that they really, if they didn't make a video telling like half of the student body like that this song like freaking sucks, I don't think that I would have aspired to find self-confidence. I think a lot of the time it starts with reminding yourself, even like faking it till you make it.
Yeah.
Being like, you know, you are awesome. You are awesome. Even if you don't really believe it. But like if you look at yourself in the mirror and you say it over and over and over again, you're going to wake up one day and be like, you know what? Actually, I'm right. I am awesome. And I can remember just hearing those comments. It was like negative comments about the song sucking. And I was so hurt. I was so offended. I was like, oh my God, like this is all I have. And this guy hates it. And I could have handled it in multiple ways. I could have started drama. I could have picked a fight. But I feel like the me that I'm glad I chose this outcome was like, I'm just going to make another song and make another song and make another song. Because the thing is, even if you don't come out the gate the best, hard work, determination, effort, trust, intuition, it all leads you there. And even when I made American Teen, although I find it to be extremely successful and I love it, I don't think that American Teen is me at my best. How can that possibly be me at my best when I've gone through so many experiences, so many ups, so many downs? I think it's just about trusting where you are in the moment and realizing that where you are is exactly where you need to be.
Also, American Teen was your beginning, though. All you can keep doing is continuing to make music at that point, too.
And aspiring to grow. I don't walk into any room thinking I'm the best creator here. I walk into the room like, how can I improve today? How can I make a song better than the last? How can I connect with myself more? How can I collaborate more? How can I get to know the producers more around the room? It's a journey, but it's all the moving parts that you combine together that like make it that much special.
So Saved comes out. I heard that it goes onto SoundCloud. It gets around 20,000 plays on its own.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, by the way.
In like a week. Wild.
That was the first song? Second song you'd put out?
It was the second song I put out. First song I put out was like this freestyle under this Dream Koala beat that I loved. And the reason I had got introduced to that beat was because of Doja Cat, actually. She had a song called No Police.
Wow.
I loved that song on repeat. I thought it was so vibey. I thought it just was so ethereal. I think that's everything, especially in that era of music, that's everything I aspired for. You know, like I was really in love with like Alina Baraz and just super moody, atmospheric vibes. And I took that song and I like quickly wrote something and recorded it on the mic and uploaded. I didn't even upload it under my name because I didn't want anyone to know that it was me. Like I said, I just was not there yet. I wasn't confident enough. Didn't want anyone to know it was me. My school found out about it because I tweeted a link to it and they started posting videos of themselves walking around the hallway, listening to the music. And it was this whole thing. And still, like OG fans, I mean, it gets distant as time goes on. They always ask about the song from here and there. Like, is there ever going to be an official version? I'm like, maybe one day.
Yeah, I found it interesting because you also said earlier that you're a perfectionist. So I guess one of my questions is, how do you know when a song is done?
I think it's a contradicting feeling because I don't believe that any song is ever done.
That's a great point. You could always do like 100 different things to it, no matter where.
I don't believe that. It's kind of a battle with oneself, an ego, being like, all right, put the pen down, put the mic down. You did enough. Because I do believe that you can overdo it. You can do it a little too far. It's almost like a cake. You know, you have to have like the perfect ingredients. You can make a good cake. You can make a bad cake. You can make an okay cake. But it's like, how long are you willing to let it bake until it's like, okay, this is burnt now. We burnt this idea out to the ground. This is too much. I think that it really is about your intuition. It's a choice. Because some of the best songs that I've ever heard were demos that are unfinished. I have songs on my album After the Sun Goes Down, my new one that I recorded with a beautiful mic. Oh my God, expensive, professional, high quality mic. But then there's other songs that the vocals that are on the album were the scratch vocals that I put when I wrote the song. So I guess it's really just kind of like you determine it on your own. Okay, I'm ready. It's done. I feel it. No more. It's kind of like I imagine, or even sometimes it's also like you're racing against time and there's literally no more time. Like we'd have no more time. I imagine like Master Chef, and they're just like putting together like the parsley and just everything together. And they're like, all right, stop. It's done. I think that that's always kind of how it feels when we think about albums and songs, especially when the market has such a demand. They just want it. Just more and more and more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah, you're putting out an album and everyone's like, when's the next one coming out?
Yeah.
You put out a TikTok and everyone's like, everywhere but the studio.
I've learned that because I took time to write a 5-year album and I took time to write a 5-month album. It's like, I guess it you just know. When you know, when you feel it in your body, like, okay, this is done. I'm out. And it's bittersweet, I think. Recording the final vocals on an album to me is the most bittersweet experience because you started this journey together, brick by brick, concept by concept. This is cool. Nah, that's not. I like this one. That's cool. I mean, before you have an album, you could have like 27 to 50 ideas. How do you compartmentalize that into 12 to 16? I mean, you never really know, but I feel like it's all from within. It's all it's intuition.
So Saved,
like a sixth sense.
the Saved comes out, connects like crazy. Is that what gets the attention of labels, or was location the thing that got the attention of everyone?
Saved got a lot of attention. Coaster also.
Yes, it's also an American team.
I think I wrote Coaster maybe not even 3 weeks after I made Saved. I was like, I'm ready to go to the studio every day. I need to feed my audience. They want it. It's hot. I need to chase it. And I think Coaster started gaining a lot of attention. There was another song, Reasons. That's like a deep cut. Oh my God. The song's okay, but I kind of cringe at it. I don't know. Sometimes we always have that one. I mean, that's my first time writing, my first time getting to know myself as an artist. Like every step isn't going to be freaking the best, you know, the best decision. Still, you know, have a love for the song because the song led me to where I need to go. But I think location was the moment that really sealed the deal. Like there might have been eyes, there might have been people watching, might have been people curious, but when location came out, it was just undeniable. Crazy.
Is it true you almost didn't record location? Is that right?
I almost didn't record location because I was so exhausted at the studio. Oh my God, I was so tired. I was like, I sang open-ended ideas. Nothing was connecting over and over and over again. I think I went through 8 different ideas. I'm like, I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired. I thought to myself, I'm like, but I flew out here for a reason. So I'm not leaving if I ain't got something. And I played the beat of location and it really connected to me. The bouncy chords and like the metallic like tint. It just was something that just was like, what is this? And I wrote the hook. I wrote the chorus. That's it. Once I had the chorus, I left, went back to El Paso, sat on that song for about almost a month until I finished it in 2 separate places.
Where was the other place?
El Paso.
And
Beacon Hill.
The other one besides El Paso?
Atlanta.
Wow. Atlanta and El Paso.
Across the country. Not across the country, like down the street. But yeah, it was awesome. It was an awesome moment. I'm really glad it happened.
Did you know? Because like there's certain songs that you record or certain like I would know, like there's certain like videos that I've made that I have like a feeling about, like, oh, once this is gonna go out, I know it's gonna connect. Did you know that Location, like when you heard it, was gonna connect?
Instantly. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I feel like a lot of the time with songs that I feel like are gonna be successful, I always have a conversation with my friends about how successful the song is gonna be. I'm like, oh my God, guys, this song is gonna go crazy. They're like, the song's not even done, you only have a hook. I'm like, I'm telling you, just off the strength of the hook alone, I know that this is gonna shake the world. I always believed Location would be successful, even more so, I feel like then than now. I'm gonna say what I mean by that. I think the impact that Location has on me now is so distant. Like I know it's successful, but like you said, there's so many other successes.
Yeah, there's a ton.
That was my first major success. So the belief in that song was the belief in my career, was the belief in me moving to LA and making it work, was the belief that my music would cross the water and I would be able to go back to Germany again. Like that belief was just so strong. It's just unshakable. Like I wouldn't even be able to explain the way I felt, because even now when I think about my music, whether it's my new album, it's a little bit more seasoned of a thought. It's like, okay, I've dipped my toes in this pool. You know, I know how warm it gets. Then I had no real proof, but I had the belief. I'm like, guys, no, this could be something, and I was ready for it.
Have you ever been like worried about setting expectations too high for a song and it not performing?
Yeah, but if I'm gonna do this and I don't believe that my shit is hot,
Very true.
I'm gonna record every song and if it's making a project, I need to walk out that studio like, oh my God, this is a hit. Oh my God, this is a hit. It could get a couple million plays. I'm still like, oh my God, this is a hit. This is a hit. If I don't play that song on repeat from my drive to the studio to my home and think, wow, this shit is a major hit, it's just, it probably should never be seen or heard ever.
Is that how you define success then? Because you just said like if a song gets millions of plays, but you love it and you connect with it. Is that how you define success? Or is there like a piece where like numbers matter for you? Or like for your career, I guess?
Numbers to me isn't true movement. I believe that to be moved by a song doesn't mean that you're looking around the room like everybody else is jumping to the song, so I'm going to jump too. I don't think that that's being moved by music. I think that being moved by music is spiritual. Does it make you feel something? Do you long for it? Does it keep you coming back for more? Does it make you cry? Does it make you smile? Does it make you think? Does it make you question? Does it make you react? I think that's how I personally decide whether or not anyone on this planet will ever hear a song of mine. Like, if I'm not moved by the song, nobody will ever hear for it. I don't care if somebody came with a big sign and it was like, yo, this song is gonna be the best, most major hit, and you have to hop on it because the train is leaving and it's not coming back. If I'm not moved, I'm not moving for that record. I'm not doing it.
You may have just said there, but how do you define being moved?
I've defined being moved. It's like the hairs on, your arms just stick up. It's almost like candy that you just can't stop eating at. You just want more and more and more and more and more. If I can make it from leaving the studio to going home and I didn't listen to that song on repeat from my way to the studio to home, I'm not moved enough.
Because you have a ton of songs. I heard recently that you had a song with Charlie XCX. And like, you're like, maybe in the future we'll put out another one, but that one's for me. I also talked to Benny, love Benny. And Benny was like,
shout out to Benny.
Facts. He was like, I have so many songs that the world will never hear that I know that these songs can't ever come out, but I can listen to them.
Yeah, I think sometimes it just falls down to if you are actively making music and you're making a lot of great music at the same time, every song can't come out. Like sometimes you just have the lost. I call them from my own collection because I do have a collection of endless. There's probably hundreds of songs that nobody has ever heard. Some that I personally think like we got to bring them back one day. I call those like the lost tapes.
Great album series. Lost Tape Volume 1.
Hey, I said it first.
Yeah, you did. You did. All you.
But yeah, I look at it like, you know, the lost tapes just because they don't have a home in the medium of, okay, this is right now and it's out in the world, doesn't mean that they're not comfortable where they are, and doesn't mean that they can't find themselves, you know, find their own way out to the world and be released. I wrote an album in the pandemic called Many Names. Everything is Changing. Never came out. Doesn't mean that I will never release it in the future. Doesn't mean I won't turn it to something else. I think that once it's yours and you own it, it's there. And I find satisfaction listening to my music by myself and with my friends. Selfishly, I'm sorry, I know everybody might be like, well, we want music, we want music. Sometimes you really gotta live with the song until you feel like you're ready to, because this music is vulnerable. It means something. Sometimes I'm like, y'all not ready to hear that. We gotta we gotta do a couple steps before we get there. So.
One of my favorite songs you've ever written and made. I was listening to it this morning while brushing my teeth. I was dancing in the mirror.
Me.
Of course, Young, Dumb, and Broke.
Yo, I love that song. Actually, I was dancing in the mirror to Young, Dumb, and Broke before Young, Dumb, and Broke was ever released. And that's how I knew, oh my God, this shit is a hit. Because it makes you feel exactly like that. I love that song so much. I remember when I wrote Young, Dumb, and Broke, they told me that I would age myself out of Young, Dumb, and Broke, and that it would only be a moment for a mere amount of time, and that it wouldn't be the song that I would ever want to sing for the rest of my life. And I'm still on stage like, Young, Dumb, Broke, high school kids, because music is brought down from generations. And, you know, there's a lot of kids who are in high school now that weren't old enough to experience peak American teen era, which is a crazy moment. But they find so much nostalgia in going back and discovering the music that it still has the same impact. Even if you were out of high school when that song came out, the nostalgia of it all still brings you back to that feeling.
Everyone, I mean, at least I remember what it was like being a young, dumb, broke high school kid. So
me too. I was broke. It was young, dumb, and broke when I was writing that song. It was real. It was honest. And I mean, I told myself, I'm like, I don't care if I'm 27, which I am now. I don't care if I'm 27 singing this song because the impact of that song never changes. Like, I don't care. I'll be singing Young, Dumb, and Broke until it's all about perspective. I can choose to hate the song and be like, I dread singing this song for the rest of my life, which I'm kind of like, why? Everybody loves it, so why should I hate it? Or I can go on stage and live vicariously through the listeners who are experiencing the song and find genuine joy. And I mean, I do that every night I perform it.
I think it's a song that people will remember for years. It feels like a timeless song whenever I listen to it. So
I love that.
Collabed with Joe Little. Shout out Joe Little.
Killed it. And if you know, you know. Joe Little is
Lord. Royals.
Yeah, Lord.
Crazy.
Lord, yeah.
But also a bunch more songs with you.
18.
Yeah, that's a great song too.
I love 18. And 18 is actually my favorite. Well, I'm not going to say that. One of my favorite songs to sing live.
Why?
The beginning of the song. The do, do, do. Yeah, that part is just like when people hear that the song is playing and I see the reaction that they all have to that, that's why I love it so much. I see fans who are like, I just turned 18. And that happens, and it's happened every year, and it will happen probably every year for the rest of my career. And I love that because I wish I would have enjoyed being 18 more.
When you say that, what do you wish you would have done differently then?
I didn't have the typical experience. Like I didn't go to college. When I was doing, I mean, I performed at a lot of colleges when I was 18, but it was distant. It was like, I related, but I didn't. It was a different path. And I think I would have taken myself a lot less seriously. When I was 18, it was like, I dropped American Teen. It was this major storm of, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm going through right now. Last year I was in third period, like taking a nap. Like now I'm like hopping on a stage and they're just like, sing, dance, perform. And I'm just like, ah. But yeah, I kind of miss the youth of it all. When I see artists who are around 18, 17, even 16 being creative now, back then it wasn't as common. It wasn't, you had a couple of young teenagers making music, but I think it was even more surprising my age at that time. I think people aged me so much, or like regardless of it being American Teen, they're like, oh, you're so wise and you're a wunderkind. You're just so old for...
Everyone did say that. They were kept on all the interviews I watched. You have such an old soul. I kept hearing that over and over and over.
They said it so much that I believed them, and I stopped being young. I stopped being a kid. I stopped being a teenager. I was like, okay, well, everybody thinks that I'm older mentally, so let me just work my ass off, which paid off in the end. Which paid off in the end, but it was a sacrifice I made. I really had to sacrifice. I was singing about a youth that I wasn't experiencing, and day after day, it became more distant. So when I got to Free Spirit, I had no more youth to sing about because I didn't have any true, rebellious youth experiences that shaped that album.
Yeah, I definitely want to get into Free Spirit. Speaking of those songs, like we talked about earlier, Young, Dumb, and Broke, Location, Saved, 18. These are some of the first songs. I don't know how many songs you actually wrote in order to get American Teen, but it's honestly insane to like have Saved be one of the first songs you ever wrote. It's almost, it isn't almost, it's like Prodigy level to hear about like someone who can write songs like that. Do you feel like songwriting was something that came very easy to you?
I think so, because I feel like this is a battle that I fought up until this year. I think that it's so hard for me to share my pen. Well, it used to be. It used to be so hard for me to share my pen with other songwriters because I felt like I got so deep into imagining that I know myself so well. I'm like, I know myself so well. I need to write everything. I need to write all of these songs because my fans know that it's going to be authentic if I'm the one who wrote all of these songs myself. And it was cool when I had that youth, those experiences started to get a little bit more distant and lonely. Even though I was collaborating a lot of the time, I was writing my own verse. Sometimes, I mean, depending on how busy you are, you can't always, just because you like a song doesn't mean that you can always sit in front of the artist to get it done. So it was very lonely and isolating. And I feel like now, when it comes down to the music that I write, shout out to Ilya, Savin,
yes,
the gang, Tuvelo, Tovlo. I think that really, Julia Michaels.
Yes.
Really showed me the beauty and so many more. And there's so many more I'm missing. Pablo, so many more. Really showed me the beauty in collaborating, but it's been an uphill battle, I feel like. But I love it. I love it now. I think I was really, you know what it was? I was nervous of exposing myself to people that I didn't know. And I think I was working with a lot of new songwriters that I didn't have the time to build a connection. And I felt like there was so much I could keep to myself if I just wrote it on my own. I feel like now that I live my life so much more freely, I think that I'm so much more open as a person. I think that I'm so much more open to collaborating. It's allowed me to really have so much more fun writing with other people. I think it's like a newfound fun in my career. Like 10 years later, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know where I would be without Ilya. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like really
goat.
awesome to get there. Mm-hmm.
Would you say that you write differently now than you did back then?
Yeah.
How did you write back then and how do you write now?
I think back then I used to physically write in my notes a lot of the time, so, which is so introspective. I'm like the quiet cat in the corner, just like, okay, I'm done. All right, I'm ready. And I think now I am actually really good at singing and writing at the same time. Like I could probably go in the studio and
Like freestyling melodies and like lyrics.
a whole song. Like
Wow.
I could probably freestyle a hook of the chorus before we even put the pen down to writing it and bringing it into true existence. I think I could go into the booth and freestyle a song from top to bottom.
Do you need piano or guitar or is it a cappella?
I don't need a piano. I don't need a guitar. I just got this right here. And I think, but I love making things from scratch.
Yeah.
So I love conceptualizing the melodies before, or even almost at the same time. Like the moment that the producer presses the first key is the moment that I sing the first melody. And it's just a journey that we just trust together. And I think that songwriters and producers who have worked with me have been like, what are you doing? This is crazy. But there's a method to my madness, I feel like.
You mentioned some incredible people there. Julia Michaels, one of the first people I ever interviewed.
Oh my God.
Friend of the show. And also Savin, another friend of the show.
Savin, yes.
One of my favorite people ever. I've never met Ilya, but I've heard amazing things. I actually asked Savin if he had a question for you.
Oh, really?
Yes. Savin Kotecha, one of the greatest songwriters.
Really though, like in real life though, like Google.
Also like a great person, great human
Amazing.
being. He says he'd be curious to know how you feel about the new world of TikTok and virality being such a thing for artists to do and how an artist like you feels about that.
Ooh. Hey, we're opening this can of worms. I feel like it's very muddy, very murky to say that as a creative, you have to also be a social strategist, also have to even have, sometimes creators aren't as confident to be the face a lot of the time. And I think there's so many moving parts and so many moving hats now that even me, myself, I find so much struggle in. When I started in this career, it was as easy as, I'm putting it on SoundCloud and that's it. And I'm not going to worry about doing anything with it. The algorithm will do its job. They'll, not even like the algorithm, but
like the people who
the
are,
people, the indie tabs, and they're just the faders, and they're just, it's a different space for music discovery.
Yeah.
And it really is a battle that I myself find so much difficulty being faced with, but I always remind myself, how far am I willing to go if it's at risk of losing my integrity as an artist? And I think that that is a conflict that I come across a lot because I always choose my integrity. Like I'm always like, no, this isn't me. I wouldn't do that. I don't want to do this. And I think it's about, in a way, finding it as, I look at it as exercise. It's really helped me. I think my battle with social media and TikTok has allowed me to get to the level of comfortability through experience to doing something like this. Being on a podcast, speaking, it's exercise for me. It's not, I don't just wake up like, oh my God, I want to talk to everybody. I want to, it's not easy. Just as navigating a world through TikTok, it's not easy. But if you want what you want, You got to go after it. You got to try. I think it's not even about how many people see your content. It's just about posting your content. It's just about putting it out there. That doesn't change. I mean, when I posted Saved, I was oblivious, but I did it just cause. I think that's what I'm holding on to now. I'm just posting it because when it happens, it happens. When people feel moved, I'll know. When they connect to me, I'll know. But I won't be able to find that success if I settle.
But I also love how genuine you are on social media.
Thank you.
Like gnarly dance.
Yeah,
Katseye, shout out. I love that post.
Shout out to Katseye because all of them, they're extremely talented and they're amazing and y'all are killing it. And shout out to y'all, for real.
I heard you also wanted to get into collaborating with K-pop.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you also said
K-pop, J-pop, all that.
You also said that you were the best at Naruto on PS4 back in the day. Does that mean you're an anime fan too?
I can't take the credit of being the biggest anime fan, but I respect anime. I respect it so much, I stop when I see it on TikTok like, wow, this is amazing.
All the edits.
Friends are huge anime fans, love Naruto, so it's definitely was a go-to on the tour bus.
And no one could beat you. That's what I heard.
Yeah, because I'm putting BTA. Funny.
You work with a ton of people also though. And like a lot of the songs are some of the songs that we grew up, at least I grew up with. Some of the biggest songs ever, Silence with Marshmello. By the way, shout out Marshmello.
Shout out to
friend of the show. He talked about you and he said,
I miss him.
He said this story about how like you came into the studio and then he was like worried that you didn't like it and you were just on your phone writing, but he didn't know that at the time. You're just on your phone writing, and then he like brings the microphone over to you and you just do the song in one take, which is crazy.
Oh my God. It's so funny because I had listened to all of Marshmello's songs that he had before that, and I compared it to the one that I did with him, and I was like, there's no way. I was like, I could have done so much better.
What?
See, it's so crazy. I mean, we're our own biggest.
So deep.
It's so deep, and we're our own biggest critics. And I feel like at the time, with a lot of songs, like it's a lot of songs I put out, at least early when I was still shuffling through the road of confidence, where I'm like, I could have done so much better on my performance. Now, when I look back and I look at the lyrics, I'm like, whoa, there's hidden messages in these lyrics. I'm like, what was I going through? But I mean, that's why I like to call music like an audio, like sonic journal. When you look back and you read the pages of the journal, you're like, oh, wait, I was going through some shit. Back then, I was just like, I just want to do a good job and I don't want to let anyone down. I think with a lot of my collaborations, it was a lot of me being like, I want to do a really, really good job and I don't want to let any of these collaborators down because they trusted in me and they asked me to collaborate on the song for a reason because they believed in me. And I think that I struggled a lot when I was writing Silence. I mean, when you look at it, it's like just riddled with like depression and anxiety, and I think that was real. I was really going through what I was going through when I made Silence, when I left with Silence. So I couldn't appreciate Silence until I got out of the hole. And now when I look back at Silence, I'm like, oh my God, this song actually means so much to me, but means so much to a world. So I really do love Silence now, and I'm glad he trusted me to do that song. It means a lot.
He's great. Other amazing people you've worked with, Phineas and Billie Eilish. You said it earlier with Lovely.
Yes, yeah.
That song was like a sleeper hit because like it came out and now it's like one of the biggest songs on Spotify. It's crazy.
Yeah. Sleeper hit. I agree. Even when we wrote the song and I re-recorded my verse. There's two versions of the song. I think the YouTube version under the music video is a different audio from the actual official sound. I can remember when I recorded my verse, I thought to myself, like, is this song too slow? Is it too sad? Is it too moody? But seeing the impact and the chokehold that Lovely has on the world, that was unimaginable. But one thing that I never went against or faltered was my belief in Billie. I knew the moment that I met Billie, the moment that I saw her, I was at this performance. I think it was called like Schoolyard. I don't even know the name. Sorry, don't kill me for it. And I watched her perform and I watched her sing for a room and I was like, wow, she is going to be a superstar. Phineas, extremely talented songwriters they are. We sat down and wrote that song in a bedroom and it was just a genuine vibe. And I think that's the only song that we did. It was the only idea. It was the only song that we did. And the way that song took over the world, I think it's true that sometimes you don't even really know the gravitude of potential. Don't know. It happens and it happens. And when it happens, you let it. And that song, like that's a song that I will forever be grateful of being a part of. And I thank them for letting me be a part of that song. And it's a really awesome moment. It brings back a lot of great memories.
That song's really cool because there's like, it feels like this build that happens and then it gets all quiet. And then that's the part that stands out a ton in the chorus.
My favorite part is just like him, like just the really is just like drifting away. And I'm like, oh, it's just so triumphant and so large. And I think every time I listen to that song, that's the part of the song that I'm always waiting for.
Over the last few years, I've sat down with some of the greatest minds in all of music, and they've told me stories and given me some of the best tips that changed my entire perspective on creating. And I'm looking to give that to you because I'm hoping that it can help you just as much as it helped me. My goal with Behind the Wall is to shine a light on the people and stories behind music, movies, and media. It's to inspire the next generation of creatives, but it's also to create the platform that I wish I had when I first started making music, when I first started being creative, when I first started making videos. Behind the Wall has taught me so much on this journey, and I want to take these lessons that I've learned and help the next generation. So I put together 15 of the most important and impactful lessons that I've learned on my own journey from these people directly, from some of the greatest minds in all of music. People like Chris Martin of Coldplay, Benny Blanco, Ryan Tedder, Julia Michaels, Amy Allen, Bonnie McKee, Savan Kotecha. So many of the greatest minds in all of music, people that I had the pleasure and privilege of interviewing. People like Ryan Tedder, who gave me one of the greatest pieces of advice that helped me on my own journey. People like Benny Blanco, who changed my entire perspective 6 years into making music. People like Marshmello, who taught me that as long as something sounds good to you, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. And I'm looking to pass this knowledge on to you, which will be 15 lessons from the greatest minds in music, which will be in the description completely for free.
And now let's return to Behind the Wall.
One of my favorite people I ever got to talk to was Benny Blanco. You
Shout out to Benny.
collaborated with Benny Blanco on East Side. How was that song?
East Side was great, and I'm not even going to take full credit of writing the lyrics to that because Ed Sheeran wrote East Side. And I thought that it was so cool that I had been offered to sing an Ed Sheeran song. I thought that was amazing. I was like, this is crazy. And Benny really took a chance on me. I think that he really believed in me. And I appreciate that. I like I said, I never want to let anyone down. Anyone I'm collaborating with, I'm like, I have to make sure that this is exactly what you want. He took a chance on that song, and I recorded it in a hotel room in like
Was that when Ed was on tour?
Norway.
Oh, got it.
I was on a tour, and they had a deadline that they needed the song. They told me that Halsey was going to be on it. And I just thought that that was just an awesome opportunity, because I felt like, oh, okay, I'm part of the pack. Like, people, they believe in me, they trust in me, and they feel like I'm going to be able to bring the song to life. And I love that song so much. That's just a song that I can never get tired of listening to. And Ed Sheeran and Benny, they snapped when they wrote that.
Yeah.
They
snapped on a ton of songs, to be honest.
They snapped when they wrote that. I'm just glad to be a part of it.
You have also collaborated with a ton of other people, of course, Logic, Alicia Cara, Shawn Mendes, so many incredible people, Normani, you talked about earlier. Do you work differently with every artist, or is it kind of like the same playbook you come in when you collaborate with someone?
It's always different. I mean, artists, we're all sensitive.
Yeah.
So it takes discovery. And I don't think that it's fair to treat every artist like we're the same when you walk in a room. I think that there's a period of time that is so necessary when it comes down to writing and collaborating, and that's just getting to know who you're working with, getting to know the mind of your collaborators, getting to know the experiences. And I feel like that makes the lyrics so much more potent and relatable when you feel like, okay, we built this from the ground up and we did it together. So even when I'm working on collaborations, if I wasn't able to see them in person, I feel like I'm always inquisitive on, where were you when you did this idea? How do you feel about it? What does this make you feel? Because collaboration is exactly that. It's a full collaboration all across the board. And I just hold so much integrity when it comes down to music that in a way I would never even feel comfortable collaborating with someone that I didn't have either an affinity to or just prior knowledge of who they are, their sound. Because I don't want to, my job isn't to hop on a song and take away the song from where it sits at its core. It's about elevating the song. It's not about like, they're not giving you the song to steal it and run away with it. You know what I mean? They're giving you the song because they believe that you're a perfect candidate of taking the song where they've imagined it to always go. And so me, I'm always willing to rise to the occasion. I just, suit up, boot up, and I'm like, let's get this song done. Let's get this collaboration done.
You talked about him earlier, and there's a reason I'm bringing him up again, and that's Ed Sheeran. You were on a collaboration with Ed, Beautiful People.
Yeah.
Great song. Love that song.
Me
Two of the
too.
people who worked on that song are two of the biggest, some of the most successful music producers of all time, Max Martin, Shellback. He also worked with a lot of Swedish producers, people like Stargate with Better, people like we just talked on really Ilya.
Yes.
So you've worked with like a ton, some of the greatest like Swedish producers of all time, Mattman and Robin on the new song.
Yeah.
What have you learned working with them, and what are some things that you've learned working with these like Swedish geniuses?
Oh my God. I love Sweden, first off. Love Sweden. I love Swedish creatives because they're really good at tuning in to, like, they're so good at being inward and bringing what they have inside of them out to existence. And they're really great at themes. And they're really great at soundscapes. And they're really great. It is, I call it Swedish surgery. They will rip a melody and an idea to the bone.
Like spend weeks on it?
They will be like, they're just so willing to make a song better. They will not settle. Like, the first idea, this is great, but let's go through 10 other, it's like Tetris. It's a Rubik's Cube, honestly. It's just like, every melody counts.
Is there like a math to it, to how they figure it out?
It's the perfect balance between math and saying it's just a spiritual connection and just intuition. And instinct. Yeah, it's the perfect combination. There's nothing like it. Swedish people just really understand pop music. You just really get it. And it's always awesome. I've never worked with a Swedish producer that hasn't played some fire. I don't know. I don't know if it's the cold air out there. I don't know what it is, but they always bring the heat for real. And it really is the perfect combination of math and instinct. And I really respect it. And when I worked with Ilya, I really wanted to learn from him. And I learned so much. And they pushed me to places where I was like, this is uncomfortable. Like, I'm not used to working on 3 songs at the same time in 3 different rooms. But it was fun. It felt like a little music arcade.
Was Ilya moving with you, or you went with other producers in those rooms?
Other producers. There's one producer in this room, another producer in this
it's like
room.
A camp.
Ilya, like a camp.
Yeah.
Literally like a camp. And you can look at a camp like, is it a camp that you dread and you hate that your parents had to drop you off every summer there? Or is it a camp that you're like, I'm lit, we having fun? And I feel like it was the latter. I feel like I had so much fun. It was just like, I was pushing myself as a creative in a place that I wasn't necessarily comfortable, but it opened just a huge door. It was an incredible experience writing with the Swedish.
You can tell me I'm wrong here, but it sounds like Ilya's really good at not only making you feel comfortable, but pushing you outside of your comfortability. So,
because he's so sweet and so nice, and I'm like, he's always like, do you want to go in and cut that vocal? Like, I promise you just only have to do this amount left. And I just don't want to say no, because I just think that he's just such a cool, down-to-earth guy. I'm like, anything you want, Ilya. I'll go in there, I'll lay 100 tracks. And I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. But he's so nice, I don't want to let him down. I feel like that's my vice in a way, but it also helps me out in the long run, because I always want to show up, and I show up for people who show up for me. And if they're there, I'm there. Wherever they want to go, I'm going to meet them. You want me to record 100 more takes because you feel like, not that you feel like the take is bad, but that you feel like there's still so much more room. I'm going to chase you. I'm going to follow you. I'm going to trust you. I'm really big at trust. And Ilya is someone, not only just as a producer, but as a friend, I just really trust him so much. And I don't believe that this album would have ever came to fruition if it wasn't for him. I believe that just as much as I am in the center of it, he is right there next to me. Like, we are not battling for an ego. It's just like, what do you want to do? You want to jump off this bridge? All right, I'll follow you. You say you know a soft landing, like, let's do it. I think that's our bond. We just have a really deep trust.
Ilya seems like he's just such a phenomenal producer, but at some time, is there like a piece of you that like wants to kind of impress him at the same time, but also being true to yourself as an artist?
I feel like he reassures me so much that it doesn't feel like I'm attempting to impress him. I just feel like I'm being myself with him. And I feel like he's accepting me for who I am, because just when it comes down to reassuring me as a creative that what I'm doing means something to him, means something to the world. To me, that's all I want. That's what I love. I thrive off of that, knowing that, oh, wait, like, I'm impacting someone right now. And he visibly shows me impact every time I work with him. So I always want to finish our songs because I'm like, let's just do more.
So if you're working with a new producer, let's say we're making a song, what can a producer do to make you feel comfortable?
Okay, you don't got to blow smoke up my ass, but act like you're having a good time. I don't look at it as a recording session. I look at it as a jam session.
Okay.
Because music is fun, and we're playing music together. And you can't play without having fun.
It also sounds like you have like jam sessions on your songs, and it sounds like they're in there. Like some of the songs from American Teen, some of the songs from the new album. I think it was True. It was one of them. That sounds like an actual jam session.
We're here to jam, okay? That's what we're here to do. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to jam. I'm here to vibe out. So if you're in the studio and you're like this, next, or even if like you come with like a pre-pack of beats, but like we've never discussed what we're writing, and you're just like playing me like templates that you would just,
What do you think of this? Look at this.
Yeah. And that's no disrespect because I know people work so hard on beats. I just feel like the producers that I really connect with the most are the people who are willing to make a song out of nothing. Like they're willing to allow me to go into a room and start an idea. I'm like, this idea is great, but like let's bump the BPM half and like let's like take this drum out and this and this. Like true surgery, just pushing past an ego and trusting one another. I think I just like to work with producers who really trust that we can both build this together from the ground up and it can still be as amazing.
You mentioned it earlier, free spirit. I was listening to one of the interviews from back in the day, and 7 years ago, you said you didn't feel like you could be like a free spirit. Do you feel differently now?
Yes.
What makes you feel differently now?
I feel like free spirit. I love Free Spirit. I don't mean to laugh at Free Spirit and disrespect Free Spirit because Free Spirit is a lot of people's favorite album. And I have huge favorite, like there's certain songs on Free Spirit. I'm like, my life would not be, like, where would my life be if I didn't work on Talk with Disclosure? And where would my life be if I didn't make Better? And that would never have happened without Free Spirit. I think for an album called Free Spirit, I actually wasn't that free. I was actually really busy. I was so busy. I was so focused. I was so wrapped up in the success of my predecessors that it took away from the freedom that I had. But I think the album was called Free Spirit because it was everything that I wanted to be.
Aspired.
That's
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Free Spirit was everything that I was chasing for. But I, in a way, knew that that's not where I was at. It's almost like I created a pocket of myself to live in when I made that album where I could be free. So when I was creating the album and performing that album, I like stepped inside this world and was like, this is my free-spirited bubble. But I feel like now I embody the stepping stones of what Free Spirit has done, not only for my sound as an artist, but just my knowledge of self experience. Free Spirit was a great step, but I feel like this, like where I'm at now, is true authenticity. I feel like Free Spirit was a lot of me trying to do what I felt like people were really gonna like from me. I wanted to do what people felt like I did best, and I wanted to do that in a great way. But it wasn't risky. I didn't take risks. And I think that why I connect with myself more, why I feel more authentic is that there's more risks involved. It just feels truly free. I mean, to be free is to have risks.
How are you defining taking risks, and why do you feel like you weren't taking risks back then?
I wasn't ready to be the superstar that everybody wanted me to be because I felt like that was a lot of effort and I just didn't want to work that hard because I had worked past my own personal limit. There wasn't anyone who gave me the ropes on how to be an artist. I got my diploma, I packed my car up with a Tupperware box, moved through an apartment, and was like, I'm gonna make something shake. And that's it. And it was, I hit the ground running from then on. And I experienced so much, but I didn't have time to revel in my experiences. It was like, oh, this is great, this is successful, but we gotta go. You can't look at it. I'm like, oh my God, my sister. They're like, no, we gotta go. Not that any of that was bad. It's just interesting for a 17 to 19-year-old to be experiencing and to be figuring out all at once.
It was really interesting to me to like re-listen to that album now and all the like explorations of everything you were talking about on the album. Like you talked about earlier with Talk, with Better, like love the talk box on Better specifically. That was crazy.
Love.
And then one of the songs that really stood out to me was Heaven. And you've also talked earlier about how like Angels is one of your favorite songs and like this this like relationship. I don't know if you have a relationship with death. But talk to me a little bit about that with heaven and then also angels.
Yes. Angels, to me, that song is so deep and so hopeful. And I think that's everything that I needed to feel that confidence to make those moves. Like, I didn't think that American Teen was done until I recorded Angels. Angels was the last song that I recorded on American Teen. I'm like, okay, now it's done. Dealing with grief is not easy as any age. It doesn't matter what age you are. Grief as a human on this earth, grief is very difficult to deal with. And I think that sometimes it can be uncomfortable, but I'm happy to know that by dealing with my grief, I'm able to write songs. And I didn't do Heaven alone. I did Heaven with Father John Misty, who is just one of my favorite writers ever in the industry. And I don't even think he really wrote a lot for people at that time, but he took a chance on me and we hung out in his space and we made that song, and it meant so much to me. And I always leave songs like that at the end because I feel like regardless of the battle and how we withstand it and how heavy it is, it's always nice to be reminded of faith, of believing that we're all a part of a bigger picture and that it's above us and we don't have the choice when we lose, but just because they're gone physically doesn't mean that they're gone forever. And I think that when I sing songs like that, it reminds me of my father walking next to me along my steps, in a way guiding me through it all and being like, just because I'm not here doesn't mean that you're not going to be okay. So I think that those songs are so important to me because regardless of whether we're having fun and we're vibing, and it's nice to be reminded of the one thing that we can all relate to, and that is loss. And I want to serve as a beacon of hope for my fans and show them that no matter where you are, that there's someone who understands you, who knows what you're going through, and who can connect with you. So songs like that have to make my album. I don't care if it's 15 bops. Like, I need an introspective, moody, just spiritually infused song because that's the heartbeat that I create with.
I definitely want to get into the new music, of course, but I would be sad if I didn't ask about how you made better.
I made better with Stargate and I freestyled better. And I knew that I think it all started with the first lyric, which was love to see you shine in the night like the diamond you are. And me, the little music whiz, I had known that Stargate had worked on Diamonds by Rihanna.
With Benny.
Yeah. And so it clicked. It was just the first lyric was just, love to see you shine in the night like the diamond you are. And then I just saw the picture. I'm like, okay, love to see you shine in the night like the diamond you are. Where are we? Okay, we're in the dark. Okay. What's hidden in the dark? Okay. Deceit, maybe? Sneaky entanglement. And I just chased it lyric after lyric and I freestyled that song. And the hook was just magic. And I'm sure they have the take where it's just instant. It was just an instant moment. And when I was done writing that song, I looked back and I said, this will be a huge hit. And I was not wrong.
When you say you freestyle, do you freestyle all of it or do you mean freestyle line by line?
I freestyle all at the same time. Don't stop. Just run the track until I get the idea out. Like, it could be. Now I notice if I take too long to get the idea out, then I don't chase it. I don't force it. but I trust the ideas that I freestyle from beginning to end that last around 3 to 6 minutes, because that means I'm just at my peak, just really in it. I'm pulling it from the ether and I'm locked in. And so I can definitely freestyle an idea melodically. Words can be interchangeable. Between 3 to 6 minutes, I think maybe the quickest song that I wrote myself was My Bad on Free Spirit. I think I wrote that in 15 minutes.
That's very fast.
Yeah, it was a journey. And I love that song a lot.
It's just 15 minutes, then you don't touch it ever again kind of thing? Or is it comped after?
15 minutes, like I have the lyrics. Now it's time to re-record.
Oh.
Re-recording, okay, we don't rush that. We don't rush that process. But writing the song, I like to trust my impulse.
So you record like a demo vocals first of the song and then you re-record it.
I'll track a song, we'll get a demo. If the freestyles aren't as potent, we'll do some surgery. Pick between melodies to make a great combination. But I always gotta go back and re-record. Sometimes I don't make, like I said earlier, sometimes I don't make it to re-recording because of time restrictions. But that to me is my favorite part. My favorite part is not writing the song, but it's actually cutting the song and recording the song. I think that takes me the longest.
The producers you work with, are they often vocal producing with you, or is there or are you vocal?
Just me.
Wow.
They honestly just go. It's just funny, you know. It's funny when it happens. I mean, it's hard to explain, but it's just funny. They'll bring, when we bring other people. If there's like a producer like Ilya who's worked with me before, who's seen it, we'll bring another person in who might not be as familiar. He'll just be like, just let him do his thing. Just sit back and I just go in. I'm just like, da-da-da, no, da-da-da. It's actually. I have some videos one day I might have to like put together and release some like footage of the writing process, because it really is very unique.
When you work with a vocal engineer, is it like, we need to record that again, or do you find the rhythm with them? Or are you recording yourself?
It's a rhythm. I record with someone who's quick enough to track me, but when I'm gone, it's like this. And some people can get left behind. Like, I think that I record extremely fast, but I record a lot of takes. So it's just like, I say from beginning to end, if we're doing stacks, we're doing harmonies, we're doing doubles, 3 to 5 hours of the recording process.
Is this going to sound interesting? This is stuff that I find really interesting. And that is like, you said a lot of takes. How many is a lot to you?
I wish I had a physical number of how many takes that I have, but I think like, if we're talking about how many times my voice has hit the mic and they say one more time, maybe like, I wouldn't say that 400 to 500 is like unrealistic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just like start. I would say, like, I'm a perfectionist, but I don't abuse the music. I know when I'm like, all right, I'm done. And a lot of the time I have to heat up. So I think my best takes are someone in the middle.
Or ever at the beginning. Sometimes.
Sometimes you just got that off the rip. You're just in that feeling. You just, whatever you do, it's just like, oh, we need that. But I think for me, I know myself. I gotta heat up a little. We're not getting the best vocals out the gate. I think we'll get it in the middle when I can kind of even find a deeper understanding of what I've written, a deeper feeling and a deeper performance of the vocals.
Is it intuition that you know that it's the best vocal too?
Yeah, awareness. I would say intuition, yes. Awareness. I think, regardless of what other people say about me, I know when what I'm doing is okay, and I know when what I'm doing is my best. And so if I don't feel like I can perform at my best when I'm in a studio, I won't stay. I'll leave. And I'll come back,
Yeah.
but I'll leave.
Sometimes you need to, I think Timbaland talked about, sometimes you need to walk away and then come back.
I'll catch a movie, bullshit, hang, whatever, come back the next day. And usually when I come back the next day, I always kill it. I always succeed. Sometimes you got to give the song space. Sometimes the song needs its own time to marinate. The thoughts just marinate in your brain. You're like, oh, this melody could be cool. I think sometimes I find my coolest melodies when I leave the studio. I'm like, you know what? I could actually add this here.
Do you record them? Like voice memo?
Voice notes, yeah.
You ever forget one?
Do I ever forget an idea? Yes, but it's hard for me to forget a song that I finished writing. If I finish writing it, even if it's distant, like I could sing a song that I wrote from 2016, 2015 right now.
That never came out, right?
That never came out.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Once it's written, I remember it.
You said two things that were very interesting there. One, you said you're a perfectionist, and
yeah,
but you also are making music that's very authentic to you now, which is interesting because you have to have this balance of being a perfectionist, but also being authentic to yourself, which is an interesting juxtaposition to like make music with.
Yeah.
And now you have this new album coming out.
I think that my perfectionism comes from, like I said, I don't want to let anyone down. And when people listen to my music, I want them to feel like effort has taken place there. I want them to feel like I'm getting my money's worth listening to this song, not I'm just getting slop on a plate and I'm like, here you go, you know? And that's artistic in its way. You can throw paint at a wall and it could be pretty.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit more, like I'm impulsive, but I'm still technical. They just all happen at the same time. Like everything is just happening and overlapping at the same time. But there's always a method. I have my method, I have my sound. I feel like I know what makes me the most unique when I hop on a record, and that might be why people do say that my voice and like melody is just, you just know it's me when I'm singing it. I think it's the method, y'all.
What's your method for these newer songs then?
The method for the newer songs was, how do I do something that I've never done yet 10 years in my career? And I think that the most uncomfortable thing to do when you're so used to walking slow is to speed up, start running. And I think that this is what this album sounds like. This album sounds like I was sitting on the couch and I was like, all right, it's time to go. And I didn't stop since. And I love that about this album because it's unexpected. I think that sometimes when you get caught in your method, people can kind of expect that you're a one-trick pony and like, okay, he only does this, he only does that. I think that this album shows people something familiar of me, but it's almost like a new artist. And I love that about it.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of listening to it.
Yes.
Big fan. I was
Thank you.
especially a big fan of certain songs like Whenever You're Gone, True, Yes, No, Maybe. Of course, talked about earlier, Hurt People. So I guess my question is how does this album represent where you are in life right now?
This album to me is liberation. It's freedom, like we spoke about. It's fearless and it's risky. And I think that that's where I'm at now. I think the deeper that I get into finding myself as an individual in this world, it's a very intricate battle. But I've noticed that I feel the best when I'm having fun. And I think that this album sounds like whoever wrote this album was having the time of their life while they were doing it. And I think that energy transfers. So if I'm having a great time singing behind the mic, like literally having so much fun making this happen, it's only going to be felt through the airwaves. I think my fans are going to listen to it, even if they're not even fans of me. I think people are going to listen to it and no one's going to deny, okay, they actually were really having fun while they made this. And that was my biggest thing. I wanted to do something that was different for myself, but I still wanted to enjoy myself while I did it.
Would you say that this is your biggest risk in music yet?
Yes. Undeniably. Yeah.
What makes it your biggest risk yet?
Because I'm speaking about my sexuality on a more broader scale. And I'm, in a way, throwing away the space that I felt the most comfortable. I'm returning to pop in a way that feels just night and day. Night and day from a casual listener. I think that sometimes my music is the perfect and maybe like a group setting. And sometimes I will say, you know, I can't fall victim to being in the background, but I feel like there's nothing background about any of these songs. There's nothing background about any of these songs. It's the first time that I've had the confidence to step in front of my voice instead of stepping behind it.
What do you mean by that exactly?
I think that I am not afraid to represent myself as an artist. So I think what I mean by that is I'm finally ready to perform, will go at 85% of myself as an artist instead of 35 to 50.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, I'm ready to do it. I'm locked and loaded and ready, and I'm like, why not? Just like, I'm here for a reason, and I'm grateful to still be here and to still be doing what I'm doing. So I'm going to go for it because I think that that's what my fans want from me. I think that they don't want me to be shy. I think that I might come across as a shy individual, but in my private life, I'm not that shy. So I feel like it's about bridging that gap and showing people, okay, who is Khalid really? Who really is? Like, who is he really? And I think that this is my biggest risk because I'm finally showing people like, hey, like, this is me and this is who I am.
This is Khalid.
Yeah.
If someone was going to listen to this album for the first time, what song would you point to them to be like, this is Khalid?
Yes, no, maybe.
I love that song.
Yes, no, maybe. Because it's a perfect combination of where I am now and what people are familiar with me for. And I think that I'm really good at big hooks. And I think that the hook is just undeniably gorgeous. And the vocal performance on that song is just, I think it's the best on the album, in my opinion. I think that it's just such a strong song and it'll win over any listener.
You said something really interesting right there. You said that you wanted to make the music that makes you feel like you're having the most fun.
Yeah.
How do you know you're having fun in the studio, and how do you set up to have fun in the studio?
If I like don't want to leave.
Do you do anything like specific to make sure you don't want to?
I'll always try not to. I always will try. Like, I'll always show up to the studio, but I can't promise that I'll stay all day. But if I don't want to leave, like if I see Ilya, like I'm done, I'm like, all right, okay, cool. I'm like erratic, just like bouncing from walls, like, oh my God, we need this, we need this, we need this, we need this. It's like a light bulb cuts on and I'm just like a mouse, just like running on a spinning wheel. Like, if I don't feel that way about what I'm making, I'm not having fun. And I'll probably leave. But I'll come back though.
Yeah.
I promise.
And then you'll hopefully have fun the next time.
Hopefully, because we can just start from the drawing board. We didn't get it yesterday, but we could get it today. I'm always hopeful.
What I always love to do is give every person I talk to the chance to play music, whether that be demos, whether that be new music. You said earlier, yes, no, maybe. Are there any songs that you want to play from the new album?
Yes. Let's play Yes, No, Maybe. Let's play Nah. Because I also think that this is a close second. and out of body, because I feel like that represents me in a way that people aren't necessarily familiar with. And I think that that's really cool. So yes, no, maybe. I'm actually really excited to listen to this. It's been a while since I've listened
Is
to
this gonna be one of the singles?
it. It should be.
Another sleepless night on the 405, driving to your house. Any minute now, I'll be parked outside, and you'll be coming out. Innocent till you pull me in, and I can't pretend that I'm not locked in. This is heaven sent, and it's so intense. This is happening. This is happening. It's not worth acting like this. Don't faze me. You always on my mind, in my head daily. Tell me I'm not alone. Give me that safety, so I'm not holding on. Yes, no, maybe. Running more miles in my old Mercedes. Can't even take me to the places you take me. Tell me I'm not alone. Give me that safety, so I'm not holding on. Yes, no, maybe. Now we're on the pier. You act so cavalier, the way you make me wait. We're face to face, and I hear you say we should set our face. Innocent, then you pull me in, and I can't pretend that I'm not locked in. Heaven sent, and it's so intense. Is this happening? Is this happening? Not worth acting like this. Don't faze me. You always on my mind, in my head daily. Tell me I'm not alone. Give me that safety, so I'm not holding on. Yes, no, maybe. Running more miles in my old Mercedes. Can't even take me to the places you take me. Tell me I'm not alone. Give me that safety, so I'm not holding on. Yes, no, maybe. Holding on, holding on. Yes, no, maybe. Holding on, holding on, holding on. Yes, no, maybe. Holding on, holding on. Yes, no, maybe. So long. Holding on, holding on. Yes, no, maybe. Acting like this, don't faze me. You always on my mind, in my head daily. Tell me I'm not alone. Give me that safety, so I'm not holding on. Yes, no, maybe. Running more miles in my old Mercedes. Can't even take me to the places you take me. Tell me I'm not alone. Give me that safety, so I'm not holding on. Yes, no, maybe. Like this, don't faze me. You always on my mind, in my head daily. Tell me I'm not alone. Yes, no, maybe.
Hey, that's fire.
Yay!
Was that freestyle too?
Oh, y'all can't hear that. Y'all can't hear that one.
But soon.
Was that freestyled? I wrote that with Julia Michaels.
Shout out.
I wrote that with Julia Michaels. The melody might have been freestyled, but she, oh my God. She's like a magician when it comes down to evoking empathy through her words. I really love Julia's words and the words that she fights for when we're writing together. Tell me I'm not alone, give me that safety was all Julia.
Wow.
Yeah. And she snapped. And like, she's like looking at me and she's like, I'm telling you, like, give me that safety. It just makes me feel so good inside. And I'm like, you know what, Julia? We're going to put that in there for you.
I really love what you said right there. And when it's like, she really cares about the things that, the words that she fights for really stand. That's really cool. I've never heard anyone say that about songwriting.
Yeah, she cares about the words she fights for because, I mean, anybody whose ego is big enough will win that fight. And I feel like for her, she's just all about trusting the intention of the song, that I feel like as laid back as she is, it makes us want to fight for each other. We're not battling each other for who gets the most lyrics on a song. It's like, how do we bring the true impact of this song to life? So I respect her for that because I think she's amazing.
Love it.
That's for Julia.
What are some other songs that you'd want to play?
Nah. This song is called Nah. And I did this in Sweden.
With Ilya?
Yeah, with Ilya.
What's the benefit? The way you cling onto me, I'm not into it. Not really feeling it. It's like we've been there before. What is happening? You must be out of your mind now. I gotta put you in time now. Thinking you can make it over there and back. I'll be okay with that shit. I'll go find somebody new. Away from the abuse. I'm tired, I'm through. Oh, you and I are different, not one and the same. So let me take a step back. Your plans to big games. Putting up with you is walking on the tightrope. Now you got me tripping, that's another cycle. Think I better leave it now. Like nah. Do it all again, but it's not a hobble. Back at the door, waiting for revival. Back to the streets like nah. Nice to know you and I can't relax when I fall into your trap. Always coming back. I'm always a decision to trust. My intuition is leaving in the past. So done with your ass. Go find somebody new. Away from the abuse. I'm tired, I'm through. You and I are different, not one and the same. So let me take a step back. Your plans to begin. Nah. Putting up with you is walking on the tightrope. Now you got me tripping, that's another cycle. Think I better leave it nah. Like nah. So it all again, but it's not a hobble. Back at the door, and if you want to back to the streets like nah. Like nah.
Hey, fire.
Oh my God, Major.
These songs sound very different from the Khalid that we've heard
Yes.
for a long time.
I agree.
I have a very selfish question now.
Go for
Seems
it.
like you're very you now. Seems
Yeah.
like you're very who you are. It seems like it's something that you've battled all these years with, this idea of like haters trying to not care what people think.
Yeah.
That's something that I've been dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get to that place, and how would you recommend someone who's dealing with that get to a better place?
I think that thinking about every single person who's talking about us, I'll speak about us, who's talking about us without us really even knowing who they are will drive you. Like, okay, let me circle this back. I'll say it again. If I had to think about every single person who has mouthed, I hate Khalid, I dislike Khalid, I don't like Khalid's music, I would go crazy. Because just as many people there are that think about you with your knowledge, like a comment you read, there's still people who think about you without commenting these things into existence. There's still people who think about you in a way that everyone's perception of ourselves comes everyone's perception of an individual comes from one's self. And when you start to look at it as projections instead of the truth, it helps a lot, because everyone on this earth will have an opinion about someone. And if you are in a position and a platform with success, you will have people who have opinions about you. And to say that every opinion about you will be something that you love reading is just not the truth. But I think it's about focusing about the thoughts that are the loudest, and that's support, and focusing on the people who, like, if I focused on everybody who hated me, I would only begin to hate myself through the projection of their lens. If I focused on the people who loved me, I might start to find an appreciation of who I am by the time I go to sleep at night. Thinking about the fact that just because there are people who dislike you does not discredit that there are probably more people out there who actually really like you. And if I were to focus on everybody who didn't like me, it would get in the way of how I treated the people who did like me, because I would only treat those people with the perception that everybody hates me. And I think that that's what I used to fall victim of earlier in my career, is thinking, oh my God, 40,000 people like the hate tweet about me. Everybody hates me. I'm like, no, they don't even really hate you. 40,000 people might not have been happy with what you've done, but there's 80,000 people who you've seen on a 15-stop tour, who are wearing your merch, who is side stage, who hopped on a bus, a car, a plane, who traveled waters to see you. Why take away from the connection that I have with those people by focusing on the fact that people are doing what people do, holding opinions, thinking.
And just putting it on Twitter versus the people who actually came out to support you.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Because even if those people didn't come to support you, that doesn't mean that everybody who likes you has to show up to your show. Or just like those people disrespect you, doesn't mean that everybody who disrespects you has to do it online. I think it's about trusting what we see in front of us and how we connect to people and how we bridge the gap and focus on the people who really do support you, because focusing on the fact that people are thinking about you will drive you crazy. And I think that used to happen to me a lot. I used to think about my life and the thread of my life of thinking about, well, this person knows this person who knows this person. Everybody is connected, and it leads into, like, my reality leads into everybody hating me. When in reality, it's like, no, everybody doesn't hate you. They're just doing what human beings do, and they're consuming you, and they're critiquing you through their own lens.
It's interesting because you kept saying, instead of saying opinions, you kept using the word projections. Like the way that they think about themselves, they're projecting onto you.
Whether it's their likes, their dislikes, how they were raised. Like, there's so many reasons why somebody might play a song and be like, I don't like this song. Maybe they're not there yet. Maybe they haven't gone through what you've gone through. Maybe they haven't experienced what that emotion might feel like. So they don't connect to it.
Really interesting because there's so many, I hadn't thought about that until you said that right now. Like, there's so many songs that I didn't like at first that I liked on a second, third, fourth, fifth listen. It's also interesting that music is like one of the only mediums that people enjoy the more they consume it versus any other medium, which is really cool.
And music is what you listen to when you're all alone, you're by yourself, and you're gonna be picky because it's like, there's one thing to like listen to the music at a restaurant in the club. You can't like tell the DJ, hey, turn that shit off, you know, but music should be sacred, and it should be, you know, it should be subjective, and it should appeal to communities, and certain people should like it and certain people should not like it. And because that's what music is here for, you know what I mean? It's to be consumed, it's to be lived with, and to say that everybody is going to turn on a Khalid song and be like, I love this song, it's just not the truth. But there are a lot of people who do. And I think that's where I focus my energy on.
One of my biggest musical inspirations, Chris Martin, he was talking about how like he's okay like at this point in his career. I think it was Ghost Stories. It was 2016 where he said he's okay for anyone who doesn't like the music anymore.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way now?
Hey, I can't blame them because I don't know them. I don't know them. I mean, somebody will comment on my video and be like, this shit sucks. I'm like, all right. But I can focus on the people that I do know, that I do meet, that I have conversations with, that I bond with, that I grow with. I'm like, I just saw 2 fans. One of the fans, she's been to 29 shows.
That's amazing.
So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna play her the music video and ask her, what do you think about it? She's gonna tell me what she thinks and we're gonna connect because that's what it's all about. Connecting to the people who understand you and support you and not trying to appeal to the people who don't because they won't.
So I'm going to ask you a really crazy question now. If you had to restart in music today, what would you do?
I wouldn't do anything differently. I wouldn't. But if it's just like, if I have to choose, I would say I would take myself way less seriously. I think I wouldn't focus on how many people hated me. Maybe I would have put out an album sooner. If I didn't go into the pandemic with the mind frame of impressing the masses. I think if I just held on to the idea of the community that really loved me and didn't worry about making a mistake with my next move, I probably would have put out an album sooner. So I'd say not taking myself as seriously and allowing myself the full realm of being who I am as a creative, regardless of whether the decision is tasteful to a specific community or not. I think I would be a lot more fearless about the music that I would be putting out and not as guarded.
Take more risks in a way?
I would take way more risks.
Including probably this last song you're going to play.
I love that segue. Yeah, this one, Out of Body, is risque. But I love it.
Dark Child.
Yeah, Dark Child.
Now I'm haunting you. It's too ridiculous. How bad I'm wanting you. Way too gone at the deep end. No, I can't swim, but I still die for you. Sun goes down in the evening on the east end, but it still shines for you. Stay right there, don't you leave yet. All my secrets, wanna share it all for you. Way too gone at the deep end. No, I can't swim, but I still fall for you. Come on out, let's get it started. You wanna, and I'm about it. Mad, wanna, smoking exotic. Blowing my mind out, so out of body. Come on out, let's get it started. You wanna, and I'm about it. Wanna, smoking exotic. Blowing my mind out, so out of body. I wouldn't wanna share with anybody else. Now that we're alone, I want you to myself. No one has to know it's only you and I. The place your lips could go is funny too. Way too gone at the deep end. No, I can't swim, but I still die for you. Sun goes down in the evening on the east end, but it still shines for you. Stay right there, don't you leave yet. All my secrets, wanna share it all for you. Way too gone at the deep end. No, I can't swim, but I still fall for you. Come on out, let's get it started. Let's get it started. You wanna, and I'm about it. But
classic fade out.
Shout out Dark Child.
Shout out to Dark Child. For real though.
Crazy. You said earlier that Young, Dumb, and Broke made you dance so much. Was this an album that you feel gave you that same feeling?
If the song didn't make me dance, it wasn't making the album. Every song makes me dance.
As you can see during all the times we played it.
I can't just listen to this music and not move. I'm sorry. Don't blame me, blame the music.
Especially performing them live. It's gonna be exciting. What is one thing that no one told you about this industry? Like if someone was gonna pop off in a year, what's something that you wish you knew early on?
That any stat that any accolade, any stat, any achievement that you make doesn't take away from the fact that when you're an artist, like no one's art is amounted to accolades that they receive from a community such as the industry. Like, don't amount your success as an artist based on how many streams you have, how many awards you have, because that's not what being an artist is about. What's being an artist is about is the integrity that you hold with your pen, with your voice, with your melody. And sometimes people might not understand it off bat. And when you focus too much about how successful your music is deemed to statistics, it takes away from your artistic direction, your integrity as an artist, because you only create with the idea of winning or losing, of being number one or being number 100. And so I think trusting that the art will lead you where it needs to, whether that's at the top of the chart, in the middle, or off, when you serve it the way that it was designed to be served, that's with love, intention. You gotta give to music for music to give back to you.
I've talked about this like topic with a lot of different songwriters, producers, artists, this idea of like, what does success actually mean today in music? Everything is so focused on virality, so focused on numbers, so focused on getting on charts and everything like that. I talked to John Bellion about it, who gave me a really great answer. How do you give to music?
You give to music by putting your all into what you do without the expectation of it being bigger than the room that you're in. I feel like it's about, if you enjoyed it while you recorded it, that's the best part of it all. You don't have to, I feel like sometimes I fall victim into listening to my music less when it's publicly critiqued to be deemed unsuccessful. And I would do myself better service if I stopped caring what people thought about what's already been done and just holding on to the fact that I actually had a really good time making that song. I really loved it. I woke up and drove miles to record that song. I lived with it. I've experienced it. It's helped me when no one else even heard it. I think you can't lose sight of that beauty because you had an expectation that it would do better than how it performed. It's like being an artist doesn't stop when to the world it seems like a misstep. You're still an artist, and it's your job to find your way. And the only way you're going to find your way is by trusting the music and that it'll lead you to where it needs to. Patience is a virtue. As long as you have a voice, as long as you have a pen, as long as you have a computer, as long as you have an outlet, you can always be successful as an artist. You can always be successful as a musician, but it's not going to be easy. It's not only just a battle within the world, it's a battle within yourself.
You've had some of the most deemed by the industry successful songs. What would make this album a success to you?
People listening to it and feeling like they know a lot more about me. That's successful. People listening to this album and getting an understanding of where I am now in my life as a person. I think that this album is a reintroduction. And I think that it'll solidify my sound that I've always wanted, but I'd never felt confident enough to chase. And so I think if people can listen to this album and feel like, wow, this is the most Khalid that we've ever heard Khalid, then it's successful. I've done my job.
Love that answer.
Yeah, thank you.
You said that your dream was to be an artist where people can say that like you're their influence. This was a long time ago. Like how you were some of your influences were Frank Ocean, Tracy Chapman, Fleetwood Mac. Do you feel like this is the album that would define that? Yeah.
I think that this album is a really good representation of pop R&B. I think it's a really great representation of pop R&B. And I feel like sometimes that subgenre in itself can get a little muddy and get a little clouded, but it's still alive, you know? It still lives in so many musicians and we all love it. And so I'm ready to show people that I'm here to give them what they want. I'm here to give the people what they want, and I'm having fun doing it.
What is a piece of advice you have for anyone out there who wants to get into music as their full-time thing?
Every day, and this is something I hold within myself and I've always told myself, the one day or every day you choose to give up on yourself only pushes you further away from your dreams, only puts you further away from your blessing, and only puts you further away from your outcome. So if you wake up every day like, I'm going to try, that'll put you in a further position than if you woke up every day and you were like, I can't do this anymore. Like, be the person that wakes up every day like, I'm going to try whatever I can do to get what I want.
And giving up on yourself means not trying?
Giving up on yourself means, you know what, I was going to go to the studio, but I don't even really think I'm that good. It's like, how are you going to know if you don't go? How are you going to get better if you don't put in effort? You know what I mean? They go hand in hand. I think effort is extremely important, even if no one is watching. It's just about showing up for yourself as a creative every day.
How and why do you keep going?
Because I love this shit. Period. Because I love it. I'm grateful. I'm happy. I'm appreciative. And I do believe that I have an audience that loves my music just as much as I love sharing it to them. And they keep me going every day. I do this not only for myself. I do this for the people that support me. We all do this for each other. And I love this shit. So we can emphasize that too.
I love it. Khalid, it's been such an honor to chat with you today. And I feel like something that had continuously come up was this idea of like your name. I even saw, I like, it stood out to me that you kept mentioning where people like weren't saying your name correctly, but even in like the location video, it had like a parentheses of like pronunciation of K-U-H-L-E-E-D.
Yes.
And I feel like we're now finally seeing Khalid as who you are.
Khalid.
So thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you so much for talking.
At the end of every interview, I give a thank you card. So thank you so much for I didn't write it for the first time. I always write behind the card on it, like behind the wall. And so
Wow.
thank you so much for going behind the wall with me today.
Oh, thank you.
One of my goals is to inspire the next generation of artists. But I also realize I think it's also inspiring me. So thank you for being one of those people.
Yeah. Thank you so much, man.
Amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Awesome.
Check out the new album.
Check it out.